My grandmother, who I'm very fond of, I wouldn't be here in this position if it wasn't for her taking me in. She told me this. She said, "Grandson, be careful when you speak, because the moment you open your mouth, you're telling the world who you are."
Where is the Calvary? We are the Calvary. Show me the Calvary. We are the Calvary. Show me your fear. We have no fear. You better mind that you see.
1905, Paul Harris, when he started the Rotary, he understood that he and all of us soon to come from 1905, that we are the Calvary. Because when it comes to environment, when it comes to helping out our communities, he understood no one is going to do it. No one is coming to save us. We have to do what? The work. Why? Because we are the Calvary. But like being the Calvary, think about this. Each and every one of you has an ability. And this is what Paul Harris, when he started the Rotary, he understood this, that ideas with work, execution can be done. I'm going to say that one more time. Execution can be done once the idea has been formatted. And so that's what's happening. A bunch of heroes coming together. Some of your abilities may be youth, maybe wisdom, integrity, maybe finances. Maybe you have resources that someone else doesn't. But let me tell you one superpower that we all have that I feel like is more important, the most important, being present. Connect with me. This right here, I can say anything I want to say, and you can say anything back to me. But you know what I love the most? Energy doesn't lie. So when I look you in the eye and I say, "Brother, I'm here. How can I serve you?" You know that's real. This is what we need to do. Because as heroes, guess what else we have? Superpower. But on the opposite side, you know what that is? A weakness. And if everyone's read a lot of books like the 40 Laws of Power, what do they tell you? Don't let people know your weakness, because they'll what? They'll use it against you. Well, I'm going to disarm that right here, right now. I'm going to tell you mine here in a second. There's two things that I want you to gather from this talk the most. We are the Calvary, and I need you to be first. I'm going to say it again. We are the Calvary, and we need to be first. Anybody seen the movie Superman with Christopher Reeve? Okay, so then you probably would remember this if I tell you. Do you remember when Superman was flying in the sky, helicopter's coming down, he catches it, and he catches Lois at the same time. Now as a kid, I'm like, wow, it doesn't get any better than this, right? And Lois goes, she's screaming, and he goes, "Don't worry, I got you." She goes, "You got me, but who's got you?" And when I saw that as a child, I understood something. Wow, there's something going on being a hero. Meaning is, we're going to be there for others at times when no one's there for us. That's right. That means when we're tired and exhausted, we're still going to put out energy like there's no tomorrow. We can be sick and still help people to heal. We can be broke and give someone our last $5. We can learn and still teach. Be depressed and still inspire. As heroes, this is why you're here right now. Because you had to do this. You had to be two things at once: scared and brave. And ease is not an option. But remember what I said. I want you to be what? The Calvary and first. 2008, there was a Great Depression that happened. Remember that? This is where coming in first matters. During that 2008, in case you didn't know, that's my wife right in front of me. We lived in a car for 2.5 years. We were homeless. I couldn't get a job. Finally, I got a piece of a job. But remember when I told you about the weakness part? I don't know how to type. I'm not the best typer. So when I'm working at the hotel, I couldn't get to the system fast enough to learn it. So they fired me. Rightfully so. I did my best. We have an apartment. We're just now getting an apartment. And I'm like, ooh, God, I need your help. Because I don't know what to do now. Lo and behold, my neighbor comes knocking. First one to show up, not even my family, not even friends, complete stranger. And by the look of me, you can pretty much guess my ethnicity, even though I am very mixed and a mutt, but you can see my neighbor's Caucasian. He's 70 years old, and at the time I'm probably like 22, 23. So demographic, we are extremely different. And he comes knocking and he goes, hey, you look depressed. How can I help? I told him my situation. So he walks away, he leaves, and he comes back, and he goes to the 99-cent store, and he comes back and goes, here you go, big guy. And he hands me some groceries. He was the first one to respond. I look back at my wife, tears start coming down my cheek. And he goes, wait a minute, there's two of us. Here you go. And I look at him and I'm like, I don't know how I can pay you back, but I will, I promise you. Comes back a week later. Did you get that job? No, I didn't. Okay, your rent's due, isn't it? Yes, sir, it is. How much are you short by? Because I wanted the best, because I wanted to get out of the hood. $2,000. My wife is a registered dental assistant, so she could afford the second half, which is $1,000. So we were short $1,000. And he looks at me and he goes, okay, tell your wife to work on my teeth, and I'll write you a check for $1,000. I said, oh, she can give you the Hollywood smile. I was like, babe, come over here. Give him the Kim Kardashian right now. Oh, no, she can do that. I'm really selling it. I don't even need to sell it, but I'm trying to sell it, right? And then and he writes a check for $1,000. First one to respond, a stranger. Make a long story short, guess what? He says, tell your wife to work on my teeth. Don't worry about it. A month goes by. I look for him. He goes, oh, no, next time. But he goes, isn't your rent due again? Yeah, I know, but we're going to work on my wife's going to work on your teeth, I promise. Oh, okay. My neighbor carried me for 6 months. My wife never worked on his teeth. Not one time. A complete stranger. He was the first to respond. Then it gets worse. He's the first one at my door. Pow, 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 pow. 1 o'clock in the morning. What? I open the door, it's my neighbor. Oh, hey, how's it going? They're repoing your car. What? They're repoing your car. My Porsche? Oh, man, what am I going to do? So I run out there, car's gone. Then I go to my mom. She goes, mijo, come with me. We're going to go get your car. You're going to get whatever job you can so you can support your family. Yes, ma'am. Get to the repo company. They say, fill out this form. Here's your stuff. I'm like, I just need my ID so I can get a job. There's a Jack in the Box that's hiring at the time. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't want to work there. And there was a sign saying we're hiring, so I was really upset. Now, when I'm I'm taking my stuff out, I go, where's my wallet? The wallet's not there. Oh, man, the wallet's not there. I'm upset. There's words that I said that I would not repeat in here, but I was young and I was dumb. But I will tell you this. There was a guy who comes out, he's like 6'11", very tall. And my attitude, better be some more of you. Come on with it, because at this point, I'm at wit's end. So I'm like, oh, 3-course meal, we all going to jail. This was my attitude. And I gave him a trick question. I said, did you check you checked the whole Porsche, right? He goes, yeah, I didn't find your wallet. And I threw him a trick question. I said, did you check the glove department box? He says, yeah. So I go and I lock the door, click. And I said, the Porsche doesn't come with a glove compartment box. We're all going to jail. Then here comes this Armenian guy in Glendale, tatted up, huge. I'm a small guy at the time. Takes his glasses off, says, what's the problem? And I said, sir, you don't understand. Your whole company took my car, took everything I had. And so he comes up closer, so I'm getting ready to swing. And he picks me up and walks me like this. And then I'm looking at my wife like, I'm going for a ride. Hun, I normally don't do this. I'm okay. So I'm feeling a little emasculated at the moment. I'm not gonna lie to you. He sits me down and he says, what's the problem? I said, you guys are charging me $275. I don't have the money. And I borrowed the money from my mom. He goes, you have a job. Now what? But the money, I said, wait, I have a what? He goes, yeah, you're trying to get a job, right? Because of the ID? I said, yeah. He said, the money's the issue? Here's the money back. Now what? Okay. I have a job? He goes, yeah. Can you type? Sure can. I sure can. So I'm like, and then he's like, he walks out and laughs to his wife. And I didn't know it was a family business. I'm new, I didn't know that. So they're in there laughing at me and I'm over here thinking I'm doing something. But in my mind, I knew the importance of adding value. I understood that adding value was more important than being valuable. So I said, I gotta figure this out because I'm not gonna last here. So I watch him on the phone doing business calls with the banks. And I said, wow, I could do that. So I snuck some files. Lo and behold, he knew what I was doing, but he wanted to watch what I was gonna do. So I go and I take the files and I put it in the back and I start making calls. So the guy who couldn't type, I end up becoming the #1 sales guy. And he goes, you just got me a $300,000 contract. I said, yeah, that's easy. All I did was, he goes, do it again. I said, okay. Make calls. Here you go. He goes, are you serious? I said, yeah. Then I cleaned up the office. I did more than what he asked me to do. I stayed late. I saw the office was not organized as far as personalities in the office. So I took it on me to input leadership. Because I understand a bunch of young men who grew up without fathers being one. That in order to lead, I had to be first to lead by example. So the guy who couldn't type, fast forward, now I'm running all his satellite office locations. And I became regional manager. And I did this for 15 years. And they embraced me like family. Fast forward, I asked him, after all this time, I said, why did you give me a shot? Tell me the truth. He says, because your neighbor called in first. I run back to the apartment and I said, how do I pay you? He says, you can't, but you can pay it forward. The young man behind me is me paying it forward. He asked me the same thing, why are you giving me a chance? This is his first day with me. And he goes, why do you believe in me? I said, because somebody believed in me. And he goes, wow, I don't even look like you. I said, I know. He didn't look like me either. So I say this to tell you this. Be first. Be the cavalry. Because there's many people that look like me, that look like you, that we don't need a handout, but a hand up makes a world of a difference.